The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And a good Thursday morning to you, one and all. Welcome to July number 20 in the year of our Lord 2017. 603-835-3226 is the call-in number. Should you wish to join in on the conversation this morning. It is also Thursday, which means it is Military Tribute Thursday. We'll get into that a little bit, but right now, what we learned yesterday has a lot of people shocked. Some people are not shocked, simply because of the bizarre behavior that he has shown over the past few weeks or months. But Senator John McCain, it has been released that he has brain cancer. Now we have to remember that Jimmy Carter also had a brain tumor. I do believe it's a brain tumor not too long ago, and he was fully cured of it, and he's in complete remission. So it's not I'm not exactly sure what the type of cancer that Carter had versus McCain. So it is possible that, McCain, could, depending on his overall health, he could see this through. Now, the likelihood is, I'm afraid, for those of you who are McCain fans, is that he won't see this through. And that this is eerily similar to Senator Ted Kennedy and his final days. This is not how I wanted to replace John McCain as senator for Arizona. It's not. I mean, I'd rather for people to seriously and honestly vote for the man or vote for his successor instead of this sort of thing. I mean, I am sure it's devastating news for his family, and I do not wish. Well, on most Americans, on most human beings, I do not wish people to get the big C of any kind. Cancer is a very scary thing, and there is no certainty of curing it or forcing it into remission. Even in today's world, when in many types of cancers, the majority of people survive and live long, healthy lives past their cancer cure or remission. We still have some cancers that are not curable. We still have some cancers that are not operable. And no matter what type of cancer you have, it's scary to hear that prognosis. I don't wish it upon anybody. I mean, it's not like many other diseases where they can either be cured or managed. Cancer is still one of those things that devastates people. No matter, I mean, even if it's just hey, you got cancer in your finger or your pinky toe, and we can 110% cure you by chopping off your pinky toe. It's still a devastating type of diagnosis, because in the back of your mind from then on is, well, what if it returns? Or what if it already spread and they didn't get it in time? Or what if it started somewhere else and they just only found it here and they can't find it anywhere else, but it's still there? Like in my liver or in my kidneys or in my gallbladder or in my thyroid or something. It's always in the back of your mind. No, I haven't had to deal with it personally. I don't know people. I've had a couple of uncles that have had the old man cancer called colon cancer, but that's about. My father was 75 when he passed away, and he'd never had colon cancer, so it really didn't hit real close. They were not birth uncles; they were married. They married into the family. So it's not as if cancer has always really been close to me. I mean, I've known I went to high school with a few people that died either in high school or shortly thereafter of cancer. But it's one of those things that it leaves its mark on people. And I don't wish it upon anybody. It's a really harsh and devastating diagnosis. It's one that has to be said, or has to be diagnosed, and the people have to be told. But it's one of those things that you never really fully understand until somebody who's at least relatively close to you gets it, and then you figure out and you understand how devastating it can be just for that particular individual. Again, even if it's a 100% curable cancer, it's still devastating. It's not like saying, oh, well, you have diabetes. Well, there are some diseases, at least in this country, that we've come to accept. I'm not saying anybody wants to get them, but we've come to accept them. Diabetes is one of those things that, well, it is so easily treated over a long period of time that it almost seems as if people just don't even really pay attention to it. And we don't. We see a lot of different types of commercials on TV for different drugs to help people manage their diabetes. So it's just another, it's like having a cold. It doesn't seem to be as serious as it used to be. I mean, it still is, but we don't treat it that way anymore. We don't think of it that way anymore. And there are a few diseases that may have been very serious and even deadly at one time. Even HIV. Somebody says they've been given. It's pretty harsh to be given a diagnosis that you're HIV positive. But with today's treatments and drugs, people, in a short period of time, they can't even detect the disease anymore. So it's almost as if they're stopping short of saying you've been cured, but it's almost as if all these people with HIV have been cured if they catch it early enough. But no matter what it is, it seems like with cancer, it's a disease that just says death. It doesn't say lifestyle change. It just says death. And I think that is what it is. What's so if there's anything that's been if there is ever a disease that has been designed and unleashed on this world by Satan himself, I would have to say it was cancer. Not the plagues. The Black Plague and a few other plagues throughout history. Yeah, they were devastating, wiped out, as many as a third of the population at the time of specific populations, not the whole world population. But a lot of that stuff had to deal with the way people actually lived in those communities. Now, in Europe, I've mentioned this before, Europeans were filthy. They always claimed that other people were dirty savages, but basically the reason why the Black Death, as it was known, was able to spread so easily throughout Europe is because people in Europe lived filthy lifestyles. I mean, they had open sewers, and we know how gross it was. By our standards today, it was very gross. And many other communities, if you want to call them communities, or civilizations like Asia, they were much more civilized, if you will, cleaner. It was just terrible back then. So there was a lot of human activity had to do with a lot of that stuff, unlike cancer. Cancer isn't, we could say, it's our diet or the chemicals in our air and water or our food that, we could spur this stuff on. But if you want to say, if there is ever a disease that is just absolutely evil and does not discriminate, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your lifestyle. Some of the healthiest people that you will ever know have gotten cancer before. It's just one of those things that is just absolutely evil. And I would never wish it upon anyone. And that includes Senator John McCain. I know there are people that are going to be very sad. Now, what will this mean? I personally myself, I don't know. I don't know what this means for Senator McCain. I don't know if this is it. If the diagnosis is terminal. I didn't bother to really, I'm not really into reading into people's, misfortune like that. I see the headline, I get the taglines, I read the first couple of paragraphs, and that's it. I don't need to get the sordid details. He has I can't pronounce this stupid word. It's a medical term for cancer. But it's a form of brain cancer. And they may have discovered it early enough to be able to treat. What is it? Glioblastoma, Glioblastoma, and they're known to be typically malignant and difficult to treat because they contain many types of cells, not a singular or binary types of cells like most other cancers. But we're told that it's a very aggressive tumor. And in general, it is a tumor that has a relentless force. You can slow it down. This says Dr. Joseph Zambramski, but you can't stop it. And the median survival rate for this type of cancer, glioblastoma, is about 14 and a half months. But what they're basically saying is that this type of cancer is terminal. And yeah, well, the proverbial, you have 6 months to live, you have 12 months to live type of thing. This is where we're at with John McCain. And no matter what the type of treatment that he gets, keeping in mind that his advanced age is going to hinder some of those treatments, Senator McCain will not be able to live out his full last term. And at this particular point in time, no matter what my political disagreements with the senator are, my thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I do pray for a miracle, and that somehow he can be spared the pain, the anguish that is going to accompany this sort of disease towards the end of his life. It is not the way I want to see anyone go out. And our thoughts and prayers are with the McCain family. We'll be back. You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shave brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Alvon Shea gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
You know, unfortunately, speaking of John McCain and his brain cancer diagnosis really explaining his most recent strange behaviors and statements and so forth, you gotta wonder what the hell is going on with some of the other aged elected officials. And notice I say elected officials. They're not leaders. Now, understand, these are not leaders. These are elected officials. That's it. They're not supposed to lead. I need to... Well, I could probably spend an entire program, an entire 3 hours or more on this entire subject about exactly what it is that is supposed to be going on in Washington, D.C. and what isn't. And it's reflected in the Constitution. But, you got to ask, what might be wrong with some of these other elected officials, like Nancy Pelosi, like Maxine Waters? I mean, just listen to some of the things that these people have said and some of the things that they've said and done over the past few years. It is absolutely insanity. These people are crazy. Somebody's probably looking at me and saying, well, are you a psychoanalyst or a psychotherapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, Rod? No, I'm not. I don't have a mental health degree. I'm none of those things. But as a layman, from the outside looking in, if people think that Donald Trump is crazy, and you have some people on the left who think Donald Trump is got a mental disorder. You know, some people have said, well, he's got syphilis. The syphilis that he has taken hold or something and affected his capacity to think. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? So they think that there's something mentally wrong with Donald Trump, but not with the likes of Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Maxine Waters, or others? How is that possible? When they've all displayed physical and mental limitations that far exceed anything that Donald Trump has exhibited. I mean, hell, I think even Al Gore has probably exhibited more than Donald Trump. But hey, Donald is the only one that is acting in a bizarre manner. I just don't. I mean, speaking of Al Gore, I mean, here's a man who's out there saying that the reason that his inconvenient truth didn't take place is because not enough people believed it. Well, what has believing it got to do with it? Now, that's a mental disorder right there. It's called a mental disorder of wanting your money in his pocket. Some people call that, thievery, ripping others off, robbery, bribery. But let's be honest, though. I mean, haven't you noticed? We've got the lamestream media and even some celebrities trying to call out Donald Trump and say that he's a little crazy, he's a little off, he's got a brain tumor, or he's, syphilis or Parkinson or something. And yet they give a complete and total pass to everyone else, especially on the left, who acts even far worse than Donald Trump. You just can't make this stuff up.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. Want to bring to you right now the morning's tribute song. The past couple of days we've done a repeat or by request to repeat a couple of songs. They were good. So they're very good, and they really express what we like to think of, as we think about our military personnel here on this Military Thursday, Tribute Thursday. And this is something, it's probably one of the favorites, along with Light 'Em Up. It's Bring On the Thunder, this morning's military tribute song, thanking as a tribute to our wonderful military.
I met my limit, so that's it.
You sure you want to be here?
Yes, I do.
Are you absolutely sure?
I'm positive.
Whatever you have to do, just find an excuse to win. Keep going.
It pays to be aware.
Team deathmatch. I heard a story about a man, somewhat of a legend, rushing there strong in the battle.
Bring on the thunder, bring on the rain. Yes, that is the this Thursday's military tribute song for our wonderful military personnel out there, both past, present, and the future. They do bring the rain. That is why that is the term that I use to help describe the show, bringing the rain. I find it to be a military term. Thank you for your service once again. People, we've got a problem here. Yes, we do. Well, here's the problem from the American Mirror. Well, I guess if you don't live here, you don't have a problem. Most likely not. But this weekend, I guess, one Maxine Waters, Representative Maxine Waters, will make an appearance here in New Hampshire. Why? Because the 78-year-old representative from California, ranking member of the Financial Services Committee, Democrat California, crazy lady from California. There's speculation that she may make a run for the White House in 2020. The speculation is increasing as it is revealed the California Congresswoman and darling of Trump haters nationwide will be making an appearance in the early presidential primary state of New Hampshire this Sunday. According to an invitation obtained by WMUR TV Channel 9 from Democratic sources, Waters will be in the state on July 23rd for a picnic to be held at the Miller Farm in New Durham, where she will hobnob with the Strafford County Democratic Committee. Now, President Trump has been a favorite punching bag for Waters, who seems to spin a new conspiracy theory about his administration and aides every few days. Waters has been intentionally antagonistic towards the president's supporters as well. During a screed on the House floor back in March, Waters played the race card and the patriotism card against supporters of the president. I'm kind of beside myself, to tell you the truth. Not gonna lie. Can't believe the old hag is going to be here because for her to even consider, to even make it seem as if I would love to see her run. Actually, I really would, because as evil and mean-spirited as Hillary Clinton might have been, it would be kind of fun during the primary season to see Maxine Waters finally be exposed as being the true nut job that she really is. I mean, she really is. She's a crazy lady. I mean, just because you disagree with somebody politically does not mean that you impeach them. Impeach 45, impeach 45. I don't care. I don't like him anyway, so impeach 45. Donald Trump isn't one of us. He's not a leader. He's not a politician. He's not a professional politician. Impeach 45. That's what all this stuff is. This is crazy talk. This collusion. Well, Miss Waters, this is on your side. It has nothing to do with Trump. We've been trying to tell her. Well, she knows the truth. Trust me, folks, she knows the truth. She knows all this Russian collusion crap has nothing to do with Trump. Hell, she's got, people who live in glass houses shouldn't be throwing large rocks. Miss Waters. Just so you know. I mean, she's out there saying all this crazy stuff. There has been speculation that maybe that her and her family need to be investigated for certain things. I mean, there's certain questionable transactions and things that she's done or been a part of or was privy to. So she's skirting the law herself while raking in tons and tons of cash for herself and her family. One thing about politicians, whether they be established Democrats or established Republicans, they're all very good at laundering money. They're very good at doing it. They know how to do it, and they skirt the law to do it. Hey, why don't you donate to my campaign? You can't use the money personally. Oh, we can figure out how we can get it personal. And let me just give you an example, how Maxine Waters did it. This is how they have figured out to launder money legally. Is it ethical? Probably not. But is it legal under the current system? Some people would say it's questionable. It's a gray area. But here's how they do it. So you have your campaign. This is why a lot of these people have these campaign war chests. You have a campaign war chest. Say you got $1 million sitting in your campaign war chest, and you want to do something that isn't supported or paid for by government tax dollars. So you have to you want to get the message out. So you hire a consultant. Now here's what you do. You don't go out and hire any consultant. You make your kid a consultant. You say, little Johnny, you're now 30 years old. We're going to make you a consultant and pay you a consultancy fee to do certain things for this campaign, if you will. And we're going to give you $100,000 for that. So little Johnny gets paid $100,000. Now little Johnny understands what all this is and what it's about. And once the money is paid out of the campaign to little Johnny the consultant, now the money's clean. It's clean and it's clear and it's free. So little Johnny can now go over and say, "Hey Dad, happy birthday. Here's $50,000." And folks, this is exactly how all this happens. So people wonder, well, they can't, if they stop running for office or what have you, and they have this huge campaign war chest, where does all that money go since they can't take it personally with them anymore? And that's a bunch of bunk. Of course they can. They just have to take, it's just an extra few steps. And they have to spread the wealth around a little bit, but they usually do it among their family. Now, family members. Now, Maxine Waters, what's her daughter's name? This is the scenario that she played out with her daughter. Other campaigns would pay Maxine Waters' campaign for her list, her campaign list, her donor list, or her voter list, and she'll pay. Then Maxine Waters will take some of that money and pay her daughter a ridiculous amount of money because her daughter is a consultant that handles the marketing and what have you. And then she'll send out the letter or correspondence. That's how, and it's perfectly legal. Is it unethical? Well, hell yes, it's unethical, but it's legal. Again, some people say, well, it's kind of gray area there, Rod. In most cases, they're doing it legally. So there's always risk in money laundering, but why do you think nobody's actually gone after Maxine Waters for this kind of crap in the past? Because it is a gray area that leans towards being completely legal. Even if it is unethical, like I said, it's still legal. And as long as it's legal, then they can keep doing it. You just thought you'd like to know.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon. We won a Cold War. And we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
So Maxine and et al. Well, it's not just Maxine Waters that does this sort of thing, folks. It's any and all of them have access to do this, and many of them do it. When I say them, I'm talking about people in Congress, the elected, the unelected, those who didn't get elected. They still, many of them may still have their war chest. If their campaign isn't in debt, and they still have a positive cash flow, they can utilize that campaign to raise money. I mean, this is what the Clinton Foundation does, although the Clinton Foundation is far more unethical. But it's the same. If you want, what was the Eddie Murphy movie? I forget. Jefferson Goes to Washington or something like that. Basically, if you want to get wealthy, if you want to have a permanent source of income. Now, I don't accuse every member, past and present, in Congress for doing this. But if you are looking to score, then this is how you do it. I don't even know why I haven't done it, to tell you the truth. I know I tell people I'm not running for office. Maybe I should run for office. I had somebody in Texas say, we can help you set up a PAC and get some donations going. I'm like, well, I'm not going to run down to Texas. He goes, that's okay. You can run up in New Hampshire. We'll still support you. And I foolishly said no. So I'm not. What is wrong with me? Yeah, because I have ethics. I know, but if I shouldn't I just cast the ethics aside and say, you know what? Maybe I'll just get mines. Time for me to get mine. Everybody else is getting theirs. I'm gonna get mines. I mean, oh man, it is just absolutely unbelievable how they can get the money from, just bring it into a campaign and then disperse that money out to family, friends, and themselves so easily. And they look at you and tell you and lie to your face and say, well, we can't use this money for personal gain. This is why I don't know why any of these people actually, how they get caught and entangled and ensnared in illegal campaign financing, whatever. It's too easy not to do it, or to do it the legal. It's too easy to do it the so-called unethical but legal way. I mean, it's not an immediate. It's not like you can go to the ATM and pull out cash, but within a couple of weeks you can have the money in your bank account. You just got to be patient. Impatience breeds greediness, and that's the problem with some people. They're just too greedy, so it makes them impatient. I don't want to wait for this money to travel from hand to hand to me. Well, it's the way you're going to do it if you want it to be legal. But that is how you do it, folks. Ask anybody. How can this be legal? Well, it is highly legal because you pay off your kid or your friend, for doing quote unquote legit work. They can do it with whatever. There's no limitation what they can do or can't do with the money as long as what they do with the money is legal. They can give it to anybody they want to as a gift. Now you may have to pay gift taxes on it, but we know Congress people don't pay much in taxes anyway, but it's okay. So you pay gift tax on it. Big freaking hairy deal. It's free money anyway. You didn't even have to do anything for it. Maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe I really should start a committee in a campaign. Now the only problem is that I could actually win and I'd have to go down to D.C., which I don't want to do. And I always kid people and say, well, people wouldn't vote for me. The sad, honest truth is if I were to run for a public office, you better believe I'd be a pit bull and I'd be running to win and win big. And I would win. But I don't want to be in Washington, D.C. But now that I think about it, I don't know. Maybe, does any of that free money sound good to you? It's easy to get. It won't cost you much, really. Honestly, I can tell you the price it'll cost in order to get all that free money in a campaign. It's pretty simple, pretty low cost. It'll just cost you your soul.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program. a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire.
And welcome back. Here it is, hour number 2 on this Thursday, July number 20 in the year of our Lord 2017. Glad that you are here. 603-835-3226 is the number that you can use to call into the program should you feel the need or desire to do so. If you want to agree with me, argue with me, disagree with me, threaten me, love me, hate me, whatever, you can do that with that number. 603-835-3226. Excuse me. Moving on from Maxine Waters. Does anybody know who, by the way, does anybody remember Robert Lacello? Robert Lacello is a man who invented something called the automatic investment machine, AIM. And I guess we'll talk about him on Monday's Money Matters, because there's something that came out recently about, he's long since passed away, by the way. I think his name is spelled Lichello, Lacello, Robert Lacello, if you want to look him up. But, yeah, he's passed away in the 90s. You remember Charles Givens? Yeah, what was this one of the... He had a couple of books out there. I can't remember. I used to have books, but these are money guru people. Well, yeah, we'll cover that on Monday's Money Matters. But and well, what was his name? Cook, right? Was it Steve Cook? I don't know what happened to him, but anyway, you probably have books a lot of books of these people, of some of these people. And, well, the reason why I bring them up is because it's amazing how easy it is for somebody to write a book and to have it become, a bestseller, if you will. They could make a ton of money off of it. And this is one of the things that it's a way to launder their money, I guess. They can take take an idea, put it down on paper. Enough people will buy it that'll make you wealthy. I mean, just think about it. If you're an author and you write a fiction or nonfiction book and you sell 1 million copies, well, you're personally going to make $1 million, at least. But you don't get that much in royalties. Yeah, you do get that much in royalties. Yeah, you did think about that. The whole, I'm not disparaging anybody from earning an honest living. But just to say that you have a lot of these people who are on the left who do this kind of stuff constantly. Now, why do I even say that? Because you have Bernie Sanders out there who made over $1 million last year, and a good portion of it was because of the book that he wrote. And yet, and he was able to pay cash for him and his wife's newest real estate acquisition. So instead of 2 houses, Bernie Sanders now has 3. And the average American can, barely afford to have 1. But they have 3. And yet he wants to tell everybody else that, the rich people are bad to America. Gotta love that kind of stuff. And, well, all he has to do is go out and write another book. And he's got a big audience, so all these wonderful people will run out and buy it. And he didn't give the money to charity, by the way. He didn't. He didn't give the money to charity. There is a poll out there that is another sick, stupid poll. I don't even know why I bring these up. But this is from Reuters. 1 in 8 people who voted for Trump having second thoughts. Now, this is what they'd like you to believe. The problem is that it's not true. Why is it not true? Well, it's not true because if all the polls that say that people had Trump remorse actually had Trump remorse, then his poll numbers would be well below his base. Now, I know that the lamestream media tries to suppress the support for Donald Trump, but if their poll numbers were accurate, Donald Trump would be in terrible trouble right now, as far as support is concerned. He'd be in the 20% range, possibly even in the teens, if things were as bad as they keep saying, and they're not. So don't fall for it. Don't fall for this notion that things are very bad for Donald Trump. I mean, after all, why? Why would they be so bad for the president? What has he done or said, really, since being in office that has really upset people? I mean, think about this for a second. What has Donald Trump really done? Can anybody really explain to me, Lucy, why somebody would dislike Donald Trump? Unless, of course, they're only basing, their opinion on the sound bites that are out there. Because that's the only negative stuff. What has Donald Trump failed to do or has not done in a presidential way? They're trying. Trump is out there saying, "Don't blame me for this Obamacare mess. It's your." I think that's fascinating, by the way. Let's take this for a side note for a second. You've got Democrats out there who are now complaining that Trump needs to get involved, and it's the GOP's problem if Obamacare fails. Why is it the GOP's? You guys passed this thing without a single Republican vote. You guys, Democrats, you said this was going to be wonderful. You said it was going to work. You said people were going to have lower premiums. They were going to get better care, and more people were going to be covered. And it was just going to be a wonderful panacea. And now if it fails, you're going to blame Republicans for it? We didn't put it in place. So now they're running around saying, well, this is going to be Donald Trump's. No, Donald Trump is right. This is going to be all on Democrats. This is you. This is your baby. Obamacare is your baby. And you've got Democrat after Democrat that's trying to get out from under the shadow of Obamacare, saying, no, we don't have anything to do with this. This is not ours. Not our baby. Well, I hate to say it, but yeah, it is. Completely. Which is why I don't understand, at least 2 of our senators, well, one of them, Snow was there back when the Democrats passed it. So 1 in 8 people who voted for Trump, so says a Reuters Ipsos poll, are having second thoughts and they want their vote back, which is not true. Of course. And they'll keep putting out this stuff until some people begin to believe it. They'll keep putting it out until people begin to start believing it. But understand it's definitely not true. Let's bring on a tribute song for our wonderful military personnel. Yeah, I always love this to celebrate and salute military personnel. I don't really want to read this tribute today, and the reason is because it made me cry when I first read it. And if I read it to you now, especially with what's happening with John McCain, it's gonna. I can't. I'm not allowed to cry on the air. I'm not going to do that. So we'll have to see as a program if I can get through this tribute. It's a heart wrencher or heart choker. Not that I don't want to, but I think today is a good day that we probably should remain a little bit more positive. And but in this tribute here, "Fallen Soldier" is the name of the song. So maybe we'll use this as a replacement. Tribute. Here we go.
The medal that his dad gave him, tucked away in his duffel bag. He said, "Don't worry about a thing, Pops. You'll be getting this when I get back." Walking down the road through the city on a routine patrol. Shots ring out and he hits the ground. Sergeant yells a man down. And this is for the ones who ain't coming back. Fought for the country in Iraq. And they left their families at home. Come over here and I'm alone. Carried his coffin onto the plane. Gave a salute as I read off his name. We packed away that duffel bag and the silver star that he got from his dad. It was one old man when we got off the plane. No one there for him to greet. The whole damn company shook his hand. Brother, see the sun you will never see. And this is for the ones who ain't coming back. Fought for the country in Iraq. And they left their families at home. Come over here and I know. And this is for the ones who ain't coming back.
listening to The Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
603-835-3226. Welcome back to the program. Got a story here about anybody ever see? Well, I didn't see the whole thing. I got to be honest, didn't see the whole thing. I'm Independence Day 2. They had a lot of holes in it. I mean, no pun intended, because I know one of the big issues was the hole that this thing. I don't want to get. I mean, to get into the movie really should save it for a Freedom Friday edition. But you know, first of all, this spaceship, this giant megalithic planet-size, near planet-sized space, roughly some 3,000 miles wide. So this thing touches down in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and of course it touches different continents, you know, DC and East Coast, and of course the coast of Europe and crushing Europe and London and Paris and things. The problem I had with it is that, well, there are too many human beings. And too many tall. It's only a little over 20 years later, right? 21 years later after the first Independence Day, and in 20 years, an entire planet that was entirely devastated by an superior alien race, somehow was on the everything was being built back up, but there aren't that many people left. So we have these big cities again. Now, I don't know how we do that, but, and in 20 years they're able, so in 20 years they're able to decipher and incorporate, because everybody now knows that there's, obviously everyone knows there's aliens, no longer a secret, so governments can openly experiment and co-opt alien technology, so they take human technology and alien technology, combine it, and in 20 years we have this wonderful system. But lo and behold, we didn't expect this giant spaceship that's 3,000 miles across to come to our wonderful planet and try to get to its molten core for whatever reason. Which, if that was their original intent, then there was no need to wipe out the human race. The race would have just been wiped out. If they take our core, then molten core, then magnetic field is gone, atmosphere is gone, very potential. The rotation on its axis stops. All sorts of calamities, and it is the absolute end of this planet. Becomes lifeless. There is no more life on this planet if they were to do that. So they didn't need to. They didn't even. All they had to do was just send down the mothership and drill. If that's what they were after. So now we've got the mother of all motherships, and they call it a collective or a hive, like these creatures are bees. I got through 50 minutes of it. That's about as far as I've gotten, and I got to the point where this thing lands on the planet. It's humongous. Has its own gravity. And, I think if something that large were to enter our atmosphere, it would burn up our atmosphere, to tell you the truth. But in any case, I bring it up because we have, it's this hive. I probably should watch the whole thing in order to understand what they're trying to get at. But we have a story here from Hot Air about the bee apocalypse or bee-mageddon, and how capitalism averted the bee apocalypse or bee-apocalypse or bee-mageddon. Not governments anywhere, but capitalism. Because bees are important for... bees, they pollinate about, depending on some estimates, 1/3 to 1/2 of our food supply. Anything from squashes and anything that needs to be pollinated. Bees are a big part of that. Sure, birds are in them. Some birds are in that mix. Like smaller birds, like hummingbirds, and some insects. But most of that job is done by bees. And there was a point when there was a bee-mageddon where hives were just dying for no apparent reason. And then we found out that there could be reasons, and that there were reasons, and nobody knew how to stop those reasons. But now the crisis seems to be at least temporarily averted. And we'll get into why when we get back. Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Six 603-835-3226. Welcome back. So what we've got here is not that governments did anything to to avert this potential catastrophe, but capitalism averted the bee apocalypse. And here's the gist from Hot Air. Remember all the concerns about the colony collapse disorder. Well, that is a real problem, and it causes entire colonies of honeybees to simply abandon their hives and often die. And that's a real problem because bees pollinate about a third of the food that we eat. Without them, our food supply would be in serious jeopardy, for sure, and many more people across this planet would starve. Now, Time called it bee-apocalypse. Quartz.com went with Bee-mageddon. And by 2013, National Public Radio was declaring a crisis point for crops, and a time cover was foretelling a world without bees. A share of the blame has gone to everything from genetically modified crops or organisms, GMOs, to pesticides, to global warming and cell phones and high-voltage electric transmission lines. The Obama administration even created a task force to develop a national strategy to promote honeybees and other pollinators, calling for some $82 million in federal funding to address pollinator health and enhance 7 million acres of land. Now, this year, both Cheerios and Patagonia have rolled out Save the Bees campaigns. The latter is circulating a petition calling on the feds to protect honeybee populations by imposing stricter regulations on pesticide use. But here's the rub. Colony collapses really is a severe problem. But as Reason.com points out, America's hardworking beekeepers have held the bee-apocalypse at bay. In fact, the number of honeybee colonies is actually up. And why is that? Why would they be up? Because beekeepers have long since known if they have more bees, more colonies, they can make more money. They can make more money by renting or leasing their bee colonies to farmers in orchards that need to have bees to pollinate the crops in order to have the crop, as well as to capitalize on the honey that is made by the bees and the beeswax and the royal jelly and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing what you can earn if you're a wise beekeeper with a number of bee colonies. Now you got to have, I mean, it's more than just a hobby. I mean, hobbyists have, I guess it's a hobby if you have up to 20 hives. And I know people who have up to close to 20 hives in their own backyards, if you will. And honeybees are actually they're not aggressive. They don't like stinging you. They want to stay away from you, pretty much. And I know around here where I am, we have a honeybee colony. I think we have a wild honeybee colony, not a cultivated one. And I know we have a bumblebee colony because every year, for the past 5 years, I've seen bumblebees, little bumbles. Now, and bumblebees are fascinating actually, because they'll let you get close to them and just watch them. As long as you don't bug them, they don't care. They'll put on a show for you. They're the cutest little things, and you look at them and you think, man, your wings really are too small for that bulbous body of yours to fly, but yet you still fly. And they're busy little workers, man. They get into flowers and quickly, in and out, and they pollinate. But notice how this wasn't done. This bee-apocalypse was not averted by some government law, some government fiat, some government restriction, some wackadoodle environmentalist wacko regulation or law. Not at all. It was beekeepers realizing that they could make money by having more hives. And so they cultivated having more hives. It's as simple as that. Now, do we need to protect our bee populations by making sure that we're not poisoning them? Sure, yes, I will agree with that. Do we need to make the global warming thing? That's just a bunk. Well, I know that there are people that have said cell phone signals kill bumblebees and honeybees, and I got to tell you, I've had my cell phone on me and even taken pictures of these little critters with my cell phone. So it's not the cell phone. Can't be the cell phone. But they're, instead of getting to the real problem, they just want to make a problem, take a fake problem, so they can probably somehow either regulate it, control it, ban it, tax it. That's the whole reason behind that. Don't doubt me on that. Even when it comes to the bees. Don't doubt me that some environmentalist wacko is probably going to find out that, if you have a bumblebee hive on your property, that you won't be able to do certain things for fear of harming or damaging the bumblebee hive. Again, don't doubt me. They already do stuff like this. So this is nothing new. These won't be new tactics. The market has even been able to overcome the Bee-mageddon or bee-apocalypse problem without even increasing prices. So, again, a private sector answer to a public problem, and the public problem has been dealt with in a significant and affordable way. Unlike what we usually get from the government if they get involved in doing this stuff. Even if the government does put out certain monies to help things out, basically it is the invisible hand of the free market. Of course, this is not the kind of story that environmentalist wackos seem eager to tell or are eager to tell. They can't allow capitalism to succeed in anything. Can't be capitalism that succeeded. Nope. It's got to be something else or somebody else. It can't be, just you wonderful people out there. Taking on the market, looking at the market and seeing which way, government just can't do it. They're not very successful at stuff like this. You know what else they're not successful at? Government, and here's a story from the Washington Post. Postal Service broke the law by pushing time off for workers to campaign for Hillary Clinton. And so an investigation is finding you have U.S. Postal Service broke the law in allowing workers to boost Clinton campaign, so says a watchdog. And they did so by pushing leave for all these wonderful postal workers pushing leave for these employee and postal worker employees to campaigning for Clinton. And this is from The Hill as well as the Washington Post. The United States Postal Service violated federal law by pressing local supervisors to approve time off for letter carriers who wanted to campaign for presidential nominee Hillary Clinton and other Democrats backed by their labor union. This is what investigators told a Senate committee yesterday. During a hearing before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, officials from the Office of Special Counsel and the Postal Service Inspector General's office said that high-level agency officials pressured local managers to release letter carriers for extended periods of time so they could participate in a get out the vote effort for Clinton and other union-backed political candidates. So, not for campaigning for Trump. So even, do you realize that basically Trump had to beat a lot of people? Trump had to beat the Clinton machine, and Trump had to beat even the government. Do you realize that? Trump took on the government in this past election and won. He took on all the investigatory agencies and the secret agencies and the intelligence agencies, and he took on the Obama administration and the Postal Service now, evidently, and he still won. He still won the election. Well, that should tell you something. Now, during a hearing before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, officials from the Office of Special Counsel and the Postal Service Inspector General's office said that the managers who tried to push back against the request because of their effects on local operations were directed by Postal Service officials to grant the unpaid leave. William Seymour, the acting Deputy Inspector General for the USPS, said in his opening statements to the committee, in all, according to Seymour, S-I-E-M-E-R, the USPS Inspector General's office found that between September and November of last year, 97 letter carriers took unpaid leaves of absences for periods ranging from 4 to 50 days to campaign for union-backed candidates. Now, the most that time off at that time period, 82%, was spent in swing states like Florida, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. All 97 employees belong to the National Association of Letter Carriers. So Trump had to also beat back a major governmental union. Can you believe this, folks? They did all this stuff to Donald J. Trump, and yet he still won. And yet they want you to believe that most people who voted for Trump, or many people who voted for Trump, wish they could get their vote back. That's not the reality here. The reality is that these people tried to cheat everywhere they possibly could cheat. And it didn't work. They still lost. Now, that's just an amazing thing. Not that I think that people, well, that Trump was something special, but you got to wonder, how is it? And if we look at all the additional cheating when it comes to voter fraud, you got to wonder. Here's a guy who not only won the electoral vote, but evidently it looks like on the surface with all the voter fraud, he probably won the popular vote as well, which is why they can't have, the Trump administration challenging all these. And looking into all these voter fraud allegations, because if it comes out that he actually won the popular vote too, then they don't have anything to stand on. Can you imagine that? It comes out that there were some 5 million plus illegal votes cast for Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump. That means they subtract 5 million from Hillary Clinton's count. What, she was supposedly won by 3 million? Means that she would have lost by 2. And I think that is actually, if you look at what was happening at the time, that kind of jives. So you see that Trump had to beat not only the Hillary Clinton campaign, the entire leftist organization or left-wing idiots out there, the environmentalist wackos, the Obama administration, the intelligence community, and he had to beat back the illegal voters and fraud, as as well as the Postal Service. That's a pretty significant win, don't you think?
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
A couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said, "I'll bet you're a Nazi." Well, I love America, support the Constitution, and believe in capitalism. So I told him I'm not a Nazi, and I'm not. So what happens? The punk breaks out 2 windows and pepper sprays an elderly woman in the face. You know, there's one thing about long-haired young people nowadays. They're real assholes. Long-haired young people, you suck.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
Well, it seems like we're not the only country that has stupidity that reigns supreme in governmental agencies for local municipalities. No, we're not, my friends, because to the great white north we go to this next story, and I only bring it to you because it's very similar to some of our stories here, actually. But a Toronto man who spent $550 building a set of stairs in his community park says he has no regrets despite the city's insistence that he should have waited for a $65,000 city project to handle the problem. The city is now threatening to tear down the stairs because they were not built to regulation standards. Retired mechanic Adi Astle, is it Astle? Yes, A-S-T-L. It says he took it upon himself to build the stairs after several neighbors fell down the steep path to a community garden in Tom Riley Park in Etobicoke, Ontario. Etobicoke. Etobicoke. Sounds like a great town to have a Stephen King horror novel placed there. And Astle says his neighbors chipped in on the project, which only ended up costing $550, a far cry from the $65,000 to $150,000 price tag the city had estimated for the job. I thought they were talking about an escalator, Astle told the CTV channel, news channel. He says he hired a homeless person to help him and built the 8 steps in a matter of hours. Gail Rutherford, his Astle's wife, says the stairs have already been a big help to people who routinely take that route through the park. She says, I've seen so many people fall over that rocky path that was there to begin with, and it's a huge improvement over what was there. But again, the city is upset because they have earmarked up to $150,000 for a set of stairs. Now, Toronto bylaw officials have taped off these privately built stairs in Tom Riley Park. Why? Because they're not built to code. But the people were routinely falling down the hill that the path, but they didn't block it off the path then. They only blocked off the path after this guy spent, under $600 on some wooden stairs so people could easily traverse the hill on the path. But somehow they're not built to code, which means even if you did build these things to code, they're 8 freaking steps. There's no way in hell it's going to cost $65,000. Unless they're going to put all kinds of, monumental design into this thing. Make these 8 steps into 20 and make them, totally made out of marble and stone and concrete and lighting for each step. And I'm sure that's what the whole thing is all about. Some contractor is not going to get to bilk the city of up to $150,000 for steps that aren't even needed. More simplified steps will do. I'm sure whoever they get the contract out are not going to design and build a set of stairs for 8 steps for less than $1,000. Now, Mayor John Tory acknowledged that the city estimate sounds completely out of whack with reality. However, he says that still doesn't justify allowing private citizens to bypass city bylaws to build public structures themselves. Why not? If the city can't do it, and if it is out of whack, your citizens have every right. Well, this is Canada. Do you realize you as a citizen, you have every right to protect your health, your property value, keep your taxes from going sky high. You have every right to keep your city government from being ripped off from unscrupulous contractors as well. I mean, did Donald Trump do this with the ice skating rink in New York City? The city took years and millions of dollars, and Trump still couldn't get it done. And Trump came in and did it under budget, ahead of schedule. But and private citizens have been able to do these government types of jobs for many times at less cost. Just saying.
Today, there's a beer for everyone.
Hey, me and the guys are going out for a beer. You want to come along? Nah, I got a lot of data to enter into the computer tonight.
Now, there's a brew for the future.
Want me to bring you something back? Thanks, but I got some right here.
Microsoft Brew.
You got a beer tap on your computer?
With a head so thick you can float a mouse on it.
Let me get this straight. You make your own beer with the computer? With the right software, you can do anything.
Microsoft Brew.
Here, I call this one Windows 95. I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
And if you got to get there quicker, try the new ISDN malt liquor.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, the first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me. My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug. for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. Rod Eccles.
And welcome back. Hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. Glad that you are here. I have no idea what the hell is going on this morning with all the technical stuff. I understand that a lot of people are having troubles getting to the website. We will be working on that again post-haste. I have notified the people in charge of such things. And we will see if we can get all of that taken care of for you so that you can come on over to the program and get the program more easily. Although I don't, you know, this is just one of those things. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, I run it when things are going smoothly. I don't really pay attention, and that's when I should pay attention to make sure that things continue to run smoothly, because there's always a hiccup at some point, and I don't fully quite understand why there are hiccups, but there are sometimes. So we will try to continue to fix a lot of this stuff as the program continues to unfold for the rest of the day. But we are in hour number 3 here of the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours in internet talk radio is right here. So I'm glad that you are all here, and you are here and you're able to get to the program and listen to it if you wish to listen to it. I don't know where. Yeah, well, you know, it is one of those things today. I'm just upset by this stuff. I wish it didn't happen. I wish stuff like this doesn't happen, but it does happen because I'm not a professional when it comes to all this technical crap and technical garbage. Well, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. But in any case, so glad that we'll get this stuff straightened out. I just hope to God it doesn't erase my entire site. Remember the last time that happened? That ticked me off. That was a lot of work that went into that. Ticked me off so bad. It dumped the entire site for some reason. Could be spam attacks. not spam attacks, but any other kind of attacks that happen. Don't know. Hopefully that's not the case today. But we'll get to the bottom of it. Any case, got a lot of stuff to go through with you this final hour this morning. I know that people are having a hard time with certain things. You have McCain with being diagnosed with having brain cancer. You have there is a problem. Now see if I log in without logging in. If I just come online as a regular person to the website on Google, I get the funniest page I've ever seen. But then if I go to Firefox, it shows up. I don't get it. So if you're having troubles getting, I know you're not supposed to talk about this stuff on live radio, but it is what it is, folks. I don't know. It could. I'm not even going to try to speculate. It could be so many issues. It could be the host. It could be the host was attacked. It could be a server was attacked. It could be a internet. There was. Remember when the part of the internet went down when not too long ago. Because Cisco, I think, had been hacked. I don't know. This could be a hack attack. Could be a hack attack. I don't think I'm big enough to be singled out, but it could be. I don't know. So we'll keep an eye on this and see if the host can get this back up and running before the end. They should have had it back up and running yesterday. I mentioned it to them yesterday. But anyway, here from Hot Air, Evergreen student, people were calling us Nazis and white supremacist and racist, and I'm not any of those. I don't know why. I don't know why they want to call me that. Now, one of Professor Brett Weinstein's students has given an interview describing her experience being in the classroom when a mob of students showed up to demand Weinstein's resignation. This student also attended a subsequent meeting at the library where protesters berated Weinstein and college president George Bridges. This woman is not identified by name, but she's not Mackenzie Kiger, the student who spoke up at a board of trustees meeting. So it's Evergreen College students. Now, after the carnival-type atmosphere subsided at Weinstein's classroom, students were told they would be meeting later that afternoon at the library where Professor Weinstein would be given a chance to speak. When Weinstein arrived at the meeting, several protesters took up positions around him as if they were guards or minders. Weinstein tried to speak to the room a couple of times, but was told he wasn't allowed. Some of Weinstein's own students then tried to stand up for him, and that's when real trouble began. There were 2 people of color in my class, in Brett's class, who tried to speak, both defending him and trying just to say that you really need to hear what he has to say. The unidentified student says, she continues, one was told that her skin was too light and that she needed to listen to people of darker colored skin, because I guess I don't really understand that argument. She was actually talking about the Chinese Cultural Revolution, which she knows a lot about, and she was pointing out some similarities there. And then another half-black student in our class tried to speak, and she was told that she didn't understand. And then at one point she yells out, "I'm not oppressed," and people were like, "Oh, you just don't understand." People were calling us Nazis, white supremacists, and racists. I've never met any of these people before, and they don't know me. replied the student. Ultimately, the student blames the situation on the college's leadership and faculty other than the student. No, blame it directly on the students, too. Don't give students a pass. You can't give people a pass when they call other people racist and they don't give people a chance to speak and say their mind and give information about whatever position that they might have. How are you going to learn anything? You don't even give them a chance to recant anything, even. Maybe Weinstein would have said, you know what? I listened to your arguments and I think you guys are right. I was wrong. He doesn't even have a chance to say that because these people are saying you don't have a right to speak. That is bullshit, basically. Plain and simple. This is the problem with this so-called liberal mantra. There's no liberty in it at all. There's no liberal in it. All they want to do is try to shut people. Do they realize that trying to shut people down does not work? Because there are certain people that just aren't going to buy it. They're not going to go for it. Try shutting me down, see how far you get. Try surrounding me in a threatening manner and seeing if I don't drop one of you. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Rod, are you threatening violence? No, I'm meeting fire with fire. They're the ones threatening violence. Frankly, they don't get to shut me up. Who the hell do they think they are? They don't get to shut anybody up. Basically, they're nothing but a bunch of hypocritical, anti-freedom, communist-loving, dictatorial, racist, bigoted, homophobic a-holes, because that's them. They're the Nazis. They act more like the Nazis than who these people are accusing of acting like Nazis. Nazis told some people you can't speak. That's what they're doing. Nazis told some people that what they should believe in. Or as Nazis told some people who had a right to complain and who didn't. So if you're half black, oh, you don't understand, honey. Well, if she's half black and doesn't understand, then how the hell did Barack Obama understand? Because he's also half black. In fact, he's not even really half black. He's half African. Big difference. He's a half African that grew up in Indonesia and Hawaii. How many blacks do that? How many times do we have to point that out? Well, he lived in New York and Chicago. That don't mean jack. He didn't live in the ghettos. He was going to school. He didn't live in the ghettos in Chicago, in New York. How the hell is he supposed to understand? If this person who's half black doesn't understand, how the hell is Obama supposed to understand? He didn't live, an awful lot in any type of downtrodden areas. I mean, the worst place in Hawaii is 10 times, 15 is 1,000 times better than the best places in the ghettos of Chicago, New York, Detroit, or any of our other major cities. I don't know where these people. Any case, let's see, what else do we have here? In the paper pile, just going through it. There was something I saw that was really that I thought was going to be important for you, but I guess it got hidden or thrown out or something. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, let me see. Obama. Talk about, oh man, this is delicious, folks. This is just wondrous. You want to talk about art imitating life and life imitating art. Dude. Break time. You know what? We're going to get into this right after the break. So you got to hear this, folks. You got to hear this. We'll be right back.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Now, what is this about? Well, let me just art imitating life, life imitating art. Just think of, well, I know we got Game of Thrones is now out, but don't think of Game of Thrones. This is not Game of Thrones. This is House of Cards. And I swear to you that you gotta, now this stuff, House of Cards is written before a lot of this stuff was taking place as far as our recent elections were concerned, and they were filming it, and they filmed a lot of this stuff. But especially the first few episodes, they were in the bag well before the election. But here it is from Newsmax. Obama planned an armed response to election hacking. Now, this is sort of what they did. This is how Francis stole the election in House of... If you haven't seen House of Cards, too bad. I mean, I should have warned you that I was going to talk about it. But, yeah, basically he stole the election. I mean, but there are some ramifications from it. But and how he did it was taking some... by imitating and faking some terrorist attacks and having police and federal agents taking over and shutting down polling places in certain states in order to keep those states from fully voting. It was just, could that happen in real life? Probably. But evidently, what we had here is former President Barack Hussein Obama in October quietly produced a plan to defend against a cyber attack during the election, including sending armed police to polling sites. Though the basic outline gave local governments primary jurisdiction over any attacks, Obama's White House came up with a 15-page plan of enhanced procedures. In addition to sending armed federal law enforcement to polling sites, those procedures would have included mobilizing the National Guard as well as active and reserve military forces. Counter-propaganda measures also would have kicked in after the election, Time magazine reported. Can you believe this? Now, how the hell are armed troops going to be patrolling or polling places? And how is sending federal police to polling places going to do anything about an electronic attack? I mean, seriously. But evidently there's this 15-page proposal, and it is a playbook straight out of House of Cards. I recognize it immediately. No joke, folks. You can't make this stuff. I keep telling you, you can't make this stuff up. At least I can't make this stuff up. I just unfreaking believable. And, well, yeah. The other thing is that first of all, you can't have a bunch of troops patrolling our city streets. I don't care where it is, even if it's just. What are you going to do? Call it a national emergency because you have a cyber attack somewhere against a polling place? A cyber attack against what? A single polling place? Now remember, our polling places are not interlinked the way you would think that things are interconnected. They're not. So it's very difficult to tackle a bunch of polling places in a particular district at the same time. It's not that easy. Simply because, at least our government through lack of action and lack of money, they say, has actually insulated our polling places from potential real cyber hacks and people stealing elections in that way. So there'd be no need to have these. And besides, you're gonna have an FBI agent or a cop standing in a polling place, but yet the hack is happening is a cyber attack. They can't even see it. It's happening behind the scenes electronically. Well, in any case, he still. Can you imagine if Trump or George W. Bush had such a plan that came to light? Can you imagine who would have a fit? Oh my, CNN would be fit to be tied.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl. who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
403-835-3226. Welcome back. Let's go directly to the phones right now while we have the time to do so. Let's hit it up with 731. You're on the Rod Eccles Show. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, I heard you made comment, lack of action. And I started thinking about, can you imagine when Obama was, using his pen and phone and, doing all these executive actions? We had Obamacare shoved down our throat. If the media, if they had even an ounce of hysteria like they've had against Trump and held our Congress and senators, feet to the fire about how they voted, how differently that could have turned out. But as you say, there was a lack of interest and a lack of acting, and they really, they didn't care. Obama, you were talking about the voting, supposedly the the Homeland Security, do you recall this? Supposedly it was reported that they were trying to hack some of our polling places, and I like on the day of the election. Do you recall that?
Who was doing that? That was
Homeland Security. That was in the mainstream.
Yes. Georgia was one
and
of the states.
And Louisiana, not wherever Pence is from. Is that Louisiana? No, Indiana. Indiana. Pardon me. Little brain fry there. But in the end, you take. I think it looks like most of the hacking that's going on. If you read WikiLeaks, that the CIA does a lot of the hacking that goes on. They can go in and make it look like Russia did it or China did it, just whoever they pick that they want to fight, fight against. And so that thing about, them, they want a dictatorial, they want a dictatorship. That's what they really wanted in Obama, but it didn't happen. And so they're disappointed, and so whatever they accuse their opponents of doing is actually what they are doing in hindsight. And it's infuriating, and it amazes me that the American people, and I think more do see it than we realize, but if people don't get behind and take up for themselves, our First Amendment right is all we've got left. Because you know what? They've taken our privacy. We can pretty much just, kiss that goodbye. And but our First and Second Amendment rights are about what we've got left, if you ask me. And Obama, everybody better watch him because he is itching to be head of the United Nations. Do you realize that?
Well, I think everybody realizes this is a guy that has been trying to become the glorious potentate of the UN because he's grown past the confines of the lowly presidency of the United States. He's done that. So now in order for him to stay in power and to reach his full potential worldwide, he's got to be a worldwide potentate. So that leaves the UN. Secretary General, whatever they call the UN person.
That's where I think, that's what worries me, that he, most presidents, they're kind of like, they usually just go away and start writing their books or just painting, whatever they're going to do. But for him, he follows President Trump around, is what I understand. And that's in the, you see that every day in the media. So that's not, conspiracy. I believe that's the truth. And, but, it's kind of, what, all I can say is I wake up every morning and I thank God for President Trump that we did not get that crooked, money thief, money hungry, powered, Hillary Clinton, because we would be looking at a different stance, a different place in this world today, and I believe that with all my heart.
Yeah, we definitely would. I mean, this is... It's kind of amazing because we see all these different... I know I keep bringing up these things over and over again as far as...
I do too.
What's on the television or what's on the big screen. But a lot of this stuff, it's amazing how recently, especially over the past 4 years or so, how a lot of this stuff happens in reality. But at the same time, it happens in fiction on the screen, the big and small screen at the same time. So you're wondering, where are these people getting these ideas from? Or in Hollywood, are they getting them from what's actually going on? Because we know how well connected Hollywood and D.C. are. So are they getting this stuff from D.C., or is D.C. getting this stuff from Hollywood? And it's hard to distinguish the two because everything is so tight. This whole notion of sending federal police force and policemen and military troops into polling places if there was a quote-unquote cyber attack is straight out of House of Cards.
That's exactly. I heard you say House of Cards. I've never watched it, but I did go because you were talking about it, and I was like, I'm just going to see what this is about. It is like being on the outside looking in on what's really going on. And I think, Rod, and you can correct me if you, and I don't ever want to step over my bounds, but I believe that the CIA helps or may even be the writers of a lot of these, what we call fiction, when it's really what we're living.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is a film or Hollywood liaison office within the CIA, as well as within the FBI. And I know that Hollywood, depending on the city, some of the major filming cities like New York City and Boston and Chicago and Philadelphia, they also have within their city departments a liaison for Hollywood, because they evidently, when Hollywood comes to make a movie or a TV series, I guess they spend a lot of money. Now, I've never heard of anybody other than other movie type people benefiting from like the gaffers and the equipment rentals for lighting and stuff for movies and TV shows. Those guys make out like bandits, but I haven't heard of anybody else really benefiting from TV shows being filmed, other than people being, they can't go down their regular streets sometimes because it's blocked off for filming. But they have these liaison offices in all these different cities and they try to get these film companies and TV shows to come film in their cities. But there's also this type of liaison office within the CIA and the FBI, from what I understand. I could be wrong. But
no, there is in New York. I do know. In New York, they have that, the Academy of Arts and Film, and I do know specifically a tie to that. And so that is true. And so that makes sense, thinking about all these I call them Hollyweird, and because there's not very many that I really agree with. But they, what is their beef with Donald Trump? How do they have time to go to, India and, all these places and film these movies and be so, hyped up in politics? Don't you find that strange? I'm retired, so I have a lot of time. But if you're at work and your job isn't like yours, where you keep up with the news, what keeps these people coming out against our president, except that they may have a vested interest in coming out? Do you see where I'm going with that?
They look. All this has to do with money and power and money, and it's incestuous.
Yep, it is, and it's the global plan. It's there. It was written a long time ago. We're just farther into the narrative. and they are, if Donald Trump had not been elected, I don't even want to think about where how much farther.
It'd be game over. It really,
I think so.
It would. It'd be game over. I mean, there'd be the only way to get out if Hillary Clinton had actually been elected as president. The only way for us to have gotten out of the mess that she was going to get us into fully and completely would be war. That was the only way.
World war, and we would have lost, likely because they have, think of all these weapons and all the things that we've given to ISIS. I mean, that was actually public yesterday. And Al-Qaeda, whatever difference there is in those. Think about where we would be because.
But we kept the good stuff though from the aliens.
From them.
From the aliens.
Yeah.
I'm being half facetious here because we do have some cutting edge weapons that are about to come out. Like we have a laser weapon that they've put on a couple of ships.
I saw that. Did you see that yesterday?
Yes. So,
I did too. Yeah.
So I'm starting to wonder: are we equipping our frenemies with inferior product, knowing that we're going to be able to take it out? I hope that's the case. That's the way it always. That's the way it's always. I hate to say it, but that's the way it's always should have been. If your frenemies ever get out of line, then you give them or sell them equipment that is inferior to yours, and you know how to deal with it and take it out. You don't give them exactly what you have, and you don't give them superior stuff that you have, because then it becomes more costly, both in blood and treasure, for you to take them out if you have to. And look, we understand who frenemies. We've had frenemies before. Iraq, anybody? I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's you get the idea that they want to say Putin this, Putin that. All I see is that Putin just wants peace. He just doesn't want to be inundated with Islamic terrorists, and he wants to be able to his people to have some kind of livelihood, as opposed to the money-hungry, oil-drinking, green babies that want to stop his oil supply. So you just wonder. They call him the enemy, and I'm sometimes you don't know somebody's actually could be your friend because you're so busy, smacking down. But that's just my opinion on that. That it appears that Putin may be living more, of a honest life than we once thought, and maybe he's had a change of heart,
Well.
I say you never trust him, but it does appear that he doesn't want war with the United States. He's, maybe, I guess, seeing the light that we would beat the snot out of them. And, they don't have the power they once had. But, there's nothing wrong with us, having peace amongst the world and not trying to go in and break everybody's country up. Does that how's that for the day?
Yeah, no, that makes sense, of course.
Yeah.
But I think the way that all this is going to have to play out, unfortunately, and people better gird their loins. We are not going to get out of this century.
Well, you know what? I've sent you some things that were pretty horrifying. Some messages on Twitter, and I think it's it's we're going to have a strong stomach, and we're going to have some eye-opening things, and we're going to be going into going from junior high to high school. You're going to feel small again, so to speak, but we have to. Unfortunately, but what you can do something with what you know. It's when you get hit upside the head with a 2x4 that you don't know,
Yes.
So it's better off that you're informed.
But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get out of this century without having to go through a major war unfortunately. And I'm not talking little skirmishes like in Iraq or Syria.
I know.
It's going to be major.
I think that I believe you may be correct, and God help us. God help us is all we can do. But anyway,
that's one thing I hope I am wrong on. But unfortunately, as right as I am, and looking at the logic and information that I have, unfortunately, I think people better be. I think there's a reason for all those preppers. They got.
You know what? I semi, work that way. But I will tell you this: the Republican Party, as it's known, and I want to say this, is over as it's known. I'm here to tell you that, you know what? We don't need those politicians. And John McCain, bless his soul, for whatever he's got wrong with him, it's going to be interesting to see how many more of them have, sudden deadly diagnoses in the upcoming few little bit, But he may be not the only one,
Well, that may be true.
We'll have to watch. This is going to be an interesting end of the summer. Let's put it that way.
Yes, it will. Well, I got to up against the clock.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll talk to you soon. Good.
All right. Bye-bye. We'll be back.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong. And any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable Men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hay right.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable Men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
I know things like, John McCain is, as I mentioned earlier, we all know that he now has brain cancer and that things are not going good for him. And there might be others, as the caller said. We might find out that. Well, that actually puts a big question mark on Nancy Pelosi, does it not? I mean, think about it. I mean, John McCain had a couple of bizarre instances of behavior, and this is what we got from him. Nancy Pelosi has an ongoing history for some time now of bizarre behavior. And so it really I would hate for this is why these people need to go on their own. They should not be forced out by disease brought on by age or anything else. And you know, people are wondering, I know you had Newt Gingrich out there talking about, well, Nancy Pelosi could be Speaker of the House again. I don't think maybe she's going to live long enough. If this is what is happening to John McCain, what could possibly be going wrong with Nancy Pelosi? And when you get people that can no longer do their duty as far as their being an elected official, everybody's talking about impeaching Trump on the left. How do we get rid of other people who no longer can fulfill their duties? I mean, I'm being serious here. I don't think we should be taking people's votes lightly, obviously, but when it comes to being able to actually fulfill your duty as an elected official, and you can't do it anymore, should we just let the seat stay and wait for you to get better, or do we need to replace you? I think we need to replace you. And maybe that's what Nancy Pelosi also realizes, which is why she's not going forward with telling us what's really wrong with her. In any case, well, we are working in the middle working on the website, folks. We'll hopefully get that back up before the end of business today. As well as tomorrow is Open Line Freedom of Friday, so come one, come all. Until then, have a wonderful Thursday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled, and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For a Clinton, what's loaded in some fat apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.